The reason America is breaking down is because men have lost their purpose. When you think about a purpose, it's like it's something that is a drive that's deeper than just yourself, that you want to be a part of. You want to get up every morning and you're motivated to work for and work towards. A purpose would be something you would give your life for, something that you would become uncomfortable for. The funny thing with America is that they've outsourced almost every component to living, where now men find themselves in a situation where they literally just sit in an air-conditioned box, away from nature, away from the sounds of nature. They don't really hear the rain when it's falling. Not like here where, I'm living in my hut and I can just put my hand out and literally feel the rain as it's falling. Nature, surrounded by nature and greenery all day, every day. Americans are, just men in the West are they find themselves in a very sterilized living situation where they're away from the elements. No one's really uncomfortable anymore. They're drowning in comfort, in dopamine, and pornography, endless amounts of consumerism, and I think that what that has actually transpired into is there's no more growth. The men have stopped growing. It's like a fish that's in a fish tank that, he has everything he wants, but when the fish stops growing, the fish just stays stagnant. And eventually, if you stay stagnant long enough and you don't continue to grow, you start to die. What dies? What part of you dies? Well, it's your soul. It's your fire, that lust for life. Here's something you have to understand about life. Life isn't how the West what the West has turned it into. Life is raw. Life is real. Life is it's messy. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. You might see dead animals and things, and not everything's perfect, and not every lawn is completely manicured, and that's fine. That is life. That's what life is like. A storm might come through and cause some sort of chaos, but what America has turned reality into is just a sterilized, lifeless, soulless existence. And because we've outsourced everything to corporations, you've outsourced your resource money making to a corporation, just pays you to do some endless task, some meaningless task. And everyone in their soul knows it's meaningless. No one gathers food anymore. You just go to the grocery store and buy food that's processed in a plant somewhere. Even the vegetables and the fruit has been processed, and chemicals have been sprayed on it. And so you've turned the men into docile animals. And then you wonder why they're depressed. You wonder why the country is falling apart. Comfort works for a while. So it works until the man gets to a certain point. Men get to a certain point where they're like, okay, I'm kind of tired of all of this. Like, comfort's fine, and I've played video games long enough, and I've looked at enough pornography, and I've just sat and had my fill, but I feel empty. Like, there's nothing to this. There's no real substance to this. I don't have a real identity anymore. My identity has been numbed and lobotomized for endless comfort and dopamine. And that's a real tough place to get to, because it's a prison, for one. It is a prison. You're no longer wild. You're no longer surprising yourself. You're no longer the person you thought you would become. And that's in and of itself is regret that I don't ever want to experience. But it's also extremely hard to get out of. Because comfort is a prison that, like, you gaslight yourself into staying in it. You're like, well, I live in the best country and I have Amazon, I have all my stuff, and like, well, why would I want to leave it? Most guys don't. They just stay and live a life of quiet misery, and their soul dies. And when the soul of men die, the country finds itself in shambles, which is exactly where America is right now. Complete and utter shambles, disarray. You know, Jesus cursed the fig tree because it didn't produce fruit. And I think if we have to take a hard look at America and say, well, it's not producing any fruit either. There's no fruits of the Spirit in that country. It's really spiritually bankrupt. And that breaks my heart saying, because I'm an American. I come from America. I don't live in America anymore. I left the West. It doesn't care about people. It only cares about profit making, corporations. You know, it's just I don't think it's going to get any better. Like, do you think that the powers that be are going to wake up and start caring about you tomorrow? No, they're just going to keep giving more money to foreign governments. They're going to keep giving Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, you know, more bailouts, and the cycle is going to continue to repeat. Your standard of living is going to continue to go down. You're not going to be able to find someone to date. You're not going to be able to retire. You're not getting rich. Some people, it's like a very small handful of people will get rich, but everyone believes they're going to get rich. Like, there is 0.7% of the world is millionaires. Most people aren't going to get rich. Just is what it is. But they're still going to waste their entire lives chasing that dream and that facade, because that's part of the brainwashing, the programming. You can just do it. Just do it. Yeah, go be a billionaire, bro. go invent the new Google. Not saying you can't. I'm just saying, why do you want to? Why do you want to waste your entire life in their system, believing their programming and their brainwashing, when you don't need any of that to be free and be happy? Okay, money's a great thing. It enabled me to be able to travel the entire world. I'm retired in the jungle, living on the beach because of money, because I worked hard. So there is something to it. However, people in America and people in the West, it's never enough. They don't know how to live. They've forgotten how to live. So even if they had the money, they wouldn't even know what to do with it. Dude, I know a lot of people with way more money than me. They're not living like me. They're still chasing the delusion. So yeah, you need money to retire. You need money to move to the beach. You need money to escape America. Yes, you can't do anything without money. But here's the thing. Even if you had the money, you wouldn't even know how to spend it anyway. I see people in America, they have money, they don't even know what to do. They don't have connections. They don't have the creativity or the drive, even the drive to leave. What are they waiting for? Waiting on the crypto pump. Okay, wait then, I guess. That's what it is, and that's part of the psychology behind it. They're always teaching you to wait for this, wait, and then what happens? You keep waiting, and then guess what? You find that the casket is lying right in front of you. Time for you to, game's over. And that's the tragedy of people and men in that country. They're lobotomized, they're not alive, and they're waiting. And yeah, I guess keep waiting. But anyway, make sure to comment, share this video with a friend. If you want to work with me below, I can relocate you to paradise. I got all the connections. I would love to work with you. Click the link below. You can check out the briefing I made on how you can escape. I can do all the work for you. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Peace.